I know things you never see. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed.
Come on, kid, get rid of some of them turds in the shit box.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, Rab himself. This week on the Bathroom Break Podcast, my guest is Deron Miller, formerly of the band CKY, now in the band 96 Bitter Beings. They've got 2 new albums coming out. Campaign actually just came out on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and a whole bunch of other places, so check it out. And Synergy Restored is coming out soon, and they're both fucking amazing. Hey, welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, Rab himself. I'm sitting here with amazing musician Deron Miller, and wanted to welcome you on the Bathroom Break Podcast to sit and chat a little bit about just everything.
Shit and chat.
Yes, exactly. It's the Bathroom Break Podcast, so we're gonna shit all over these microphones. Yeah, man, I was like, I was wanting to get you on just because, I've noticed when I sit down with friends of like long periods of time, like if you sit with for an hour and just chat about shit, you're like, damn, I learned all this stuff about this person I didn't really know. Like even just a second ago, we were talking about like your first band, and like I know about the first band, but then I didn't know like all this these like, album covers.
Did you ever go see This End Up?
I saw This End Up. Yeah,
did?
but I never saw Aches and Pains or whatever. Yeah.
Well, should I bring them over?
Yeah. So, we will in a sec. So, I guess my question was, okay, what was your first band that you ever had?
Well, the first like band or like
The first time you were like
wanted to happen. Because the first thing I wanted to happen was a band called Illuminous.
Okay.
In 5th grade, and I was playing guitar. Like, how old are you in 5th grade? 9 or 10?
Yeah.
I started playing at 8, and I made this fake record cover out of poster board, and I did a logo called Illuminous. I think it was like Metallica ripoff. Illuminous.
Yeah.
Illuminous.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Pete Johnson were supposed to be in that band, except he wasn't a musician. So it was just like, let's start a band, but okay. It was nothing more than just a fake album cover made out of cardboard. But from there, I started another band called Evil Image that I just now remember. Just now because you mentioned it. And my friend Brian Milano and this guy Lance was on drums, and I was on guitar, and this was in Marlton, New Jersey, 9th grade.
That's what I was gonna ask. This was in Marlton. Yeah.
And we were actually got together and rehearsed, and nobody was listening to the other person. The drummer was just playing a drum beat.
There you go.
That's a good example of people that show off in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Still not impressive. Happens every day.
Yeah, these big musclehead.
Well, they're not muscleheads. That's why they do it. It's to compensate.
Yeah.
And
wait, so no one's
it
listening.
has to affect my life.
Yeah.
I have to hear it every day.
Wait, so no one's listening to each other in the band. You're all just playing random.
Lance is playing a drum beat.
Yeah.
Not even aware that there's other people in the room. I'm playing a guitar part that I'm trying to play with Lance, and then Brian Milano was supposed to be our singer, and we had a mic set up and everything, but then he was just like, like he never really got. There are people that I don't understand this, but there are people that just will not sing in front of other people.
Oh yeah.
I don't get
they get like stage fright, and there's no one even there.
It's just you.
Yeah,
it's you
exactly.
and somebody else. And,
Yeah.
I know people even in the band I'm in now. Ken will not sing. He will not go in front of a mic and sing or talk.
But he can sing?
Probably. That's the funniest thing about it is that people who can't sing
have no problem doing it. Yeah.
There are people who can't sing. They'll have no problem with singing in front of 10,000 people. And then there's people that probably can sing that are terrified of it. And I just don't understand
Yeah.
being terrified of trying to sing
Yeah.
in front of people. I mean, it's just a hang up that people have. It's just, why not? What's the worst that could happen? But anyway, he was scared. He wouldn't sing. So I was like, all right, the coolest thing Evil Image got was a logo. I designed this really cool logo, and I can actually do it right now if I had a piece of paper. I'm doing it right now. It's the Evil Image logo. The last E after the G in image was backwards. So it's front ways E, backwards E, and they kind of like bookended it. And it was a cool logo, but it was Evil Image. I mean, 1991.
Yeah.
You could probably maybe recycle that name now, but it was pretty cheesy. And then, that just got as far as a rehearsal.
Oh, so you almost got to,
I mean, nobody had any talent yet.
Then who sang? Did you start to sing at that point? Or?
No. Okay. I never really saw myself singing in a band.
Yeah.
Because shortly after ninth grade, or right after ninth grade, my dad came to me and said, I have bad news. We have to move. And I was like, no, that's good news. Because Marlton, New Jersey was pretty much hell for me. I didn't even know what moving was like. Wasn't even afraid of being a new kid in a new school, knowing anybody. I just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
So I ended up moving to Thornton, Westchester, and they said, well, we have Westchester East or we have Garnet Valley High School. I said, well, Westchester East sounds like a better name because I was right on the cusp of the school districts.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't go to Garnet Valley High School. And if I'd had, God knows what I'd be doing right now. Because in Westchester East, I met you, I met everybody.
You'd be working at like the Boothwyn corner or whatever. What was that? When they had the sticky buns at that Booth's corner thing?
Booth's corner, yeah. God, you're bringing up stuff I have not heard in 20 years. Booth's corner.
Yeah.
Booth's corner.
They're like, they've got to die for sticky buns down there. I'm like, who gives a shit about a sticky bun?
I know.
But yeah.
Back then, you had to go places to get things.
Yeah.
Now you don't. I can order us some sticky buns right now, and they'll be here in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So you ended up in East High School, and what grade?
Well,
was that 9th grade or 10th grade?
It's kind of hard to figure it out because I was so depressed in 9th grade in New Jersey. My grades literally were 2 D's and 4 F's.
That sounds familiar.
My grade point average. Yeah, you can relate to that. My grade point average was 0.0.
So you just like hated it there? Were you just playing music a bunch and like not?
I spent a lot of time in my room.
Yeah.
But there's a backstory to Marlton growing up that pretty much fucked me up for good.
Forever. That'll do it.
I won't get into
So
that.
Don't go to Marlton, New Jersey.
No, don't go to Marlton, New Jersey in 1980.
Yeah.
The nightmare that was Marlton, New Jersey.
Yeah, so you moved to Westchester area and then go to East High School, and that's where you met like Aaron and everybody.
Well, the funny thing is that when I was in Marlton, I was a metalhead that did not look like a metalhead, and I had been picked on since like kindergarten, and I got into metal because my neighbor across the street was listening to Metallica, and I was just Kiss. That was it.
Yeah.
And then he showed me Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Ozzy, and I started to like all that stuff. And then from there, it just got heavier and heavier, and I started taking guitar lessons. Like I was already playing, but I started taking like guitar, like metal lessons, and that's where I discovered underground, unsigned New Jersey death metal bands.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually legendary to anybody that knows about it. Most people have no clue and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But there was, Nocturnal Fear. All those guys took guitar lessons with the same teacher. And I was heavily influenced by their demos because they lived near me. And it was just weird because back then when you're that young, you think that any band that has something to sell is successful.
Right, yeah.
In my head, I didn't know what unsigned meant. I just thought, if they have a tape, they have a tape. It must have sold thousands of copies.
Yeah.
So I was influenced by Nocturnal Fear, and then I started to go to this club, really shady place called G. Willikers. But I was way too young. Yeah, way too young to go there. But me and Bill McCracken and my friend Heather, we used to go. Bill McCracken recently passed away, and I didn't know that he did because we were talking back and forth to each other, and I was waiting for him to respond to something, and he never did.
Jesus.
But that's getting off the point.
Yeah.
So we would go to these death metal shows, Vicious Circle, and Vinny is still one of my good friends. He's still in the band. He's still doing Vicious Circle in New Jersey, which I think is so cool. Nocturnal Fear, like I said, Mortal Decay, all these death metal bands were influencing me because that's the kind of music that was in that area. So that's how I got into death metal, from watching unsigned quality Jersey bands. Incantation, Nocturnal Fear, on and on and on. And
yeah, it's awesome because there was like a kid that was asking for like, oh, I'm just going through a death metal phase. Like, what bands? And so I put Malevolent on there, and I was like, I only know that because of Deron, But
Right.
But yeah, but that's a band you're a big fan of too as well, right?
Yeah, I found Malevolent Creation. I found out when I moved to, Marlton is only like 50 minutes away from Westchester.
Okay.
But it was like a culture shock for me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I went from, over the summer, I spent all my time in my room with my guitar and my amp. The summer before, I was going to a new school. And it was hard
Yeah.
because all these neighborhood kids, their parents, I guess, forced them to come over. This is back when people were social and nice to each other.
Yeah. What was that like? Yeah.
These kids would come over and say, hey, does Deron want to throw the ball around a little bit? And I'm like, that's really sweet. Thank you for offering, but no, I don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
So I just picked up my guitar and, pretty much that's all I did for that summer of 91. And then I would go back and forth back to Marlton to visit Dave and Heather and all my friends over there. But when I started school, it was like a fresh slate. Nobody knew that I had nicknames. Nobody knew that the proper thing to do was to bust on me all the time.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, like girls started to like me. And I was like, what? Because girls used to make fun of me. I was playing basketball because my dad would make me play basketball, and I was so bad. I have videotapes of me. My dad would videotape these games, and I have videotapes of me taking shots and missing, and hearing girls say, "Oh, you stupid asshole, you suck."
That's fucking terrible. He's like, not only weren't you good at it, he had video documents of it.
But I had to play it cool in front of my dad who was videotaping. So I'd be like, I know, I suck, But like, inside, I'm like, God, not only do I not want to be doing this.
Right.
I do not want to be playing basketball. But I also do not need these two chicks on the side making fun of me.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not even trying to be good at it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But then you saying shitty stuff still makes me feel like.
I should have just.
Yeah.
If I could go back, everybody always says, if I could go back knowing now.
Yeah.
What you're knowing, what I know now, I would have done that. I should have just grabbed the ball, stopped, and just thrown it outside. That's what I should have done.
I did that in East when they were like all those awesome basketball players. They were always like making fun of the nerds, and I started shit. So I grabbed the one from the All-Star kid, took it, and then just kicked it out of the gym.
Well, we'll get to what you used to do in a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, you were unbelievable. The things you did.
It was fun, man. I felt like that was what high school was all
Well, that's what
about.
I needed.
Yeah.
I needed that kind of self-esteem.
Yeah.
To be able to say, fuck you. You know, this is a stupid sport. Dad, I'm not playing this anymore.
Yeah.
You two can go fuck yourselves, and I'm out of here. I'm going to go play guitar.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're trying to do what you thought he wanted and all that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they thought that sports
You're
was
supposed
more
to do it, yeah.
active, there was more potential for me to be something in sports
Right.
than in music, which
No way.
obviously if I'm spending 24 hours a day in my room playing guitar riffs, there's something there.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
And
focus on
they
that.
eventually got it.
Yeah.
You know, but it took a long time. They were worried because I had my grades in 9th grade were so bad that I should have been held back.
Yeah.
But what my mom did was she talked the principal into letting me go to 10th grade. But the problem is I had to make up all those credits.
Right.
So I didn't have a study hall. I didn't have
yeah.
anything. My entire day was made up of more classes than anybody else. And I had to make up all my freshman year classes. And
Just
I
to
don't know
catch
how
up,
I
yeah.
did it because I literally did not do any work. I think that I would just copy people's work. I would copy people's homework. Sometimes I would steal their homework and erase their name and put mine.
Yeah.
That was usually for revenge. If in Marlton in school, I remember this kid Justin Greenwald was busting on me, and we had a teacher named Miss Hockle I had a huge crush on her. But there's stories within stories, and I had to stick to one.
Yeah.
Justin Greenwald was saying something to me, and he went to the bathroom, and I knew where his homework was, and I forgot mine. So I took his, erased his name, and put my name, and I put it in my book and handed it in. And he came back, it was just here.
You're like,
Everybody
huh?
thought he was crazy. Like, look, you forgot your homework. Just deal with it. But I didn't. I had it here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was just like,
No,
that's what
kid.
you get, you know?
Yeah.
But I did that on several occasions. If there was somebody that was an asshole, I would steal their homework and put my name on it.
That's awesome.
But that's one of many
Yeah.
problems.
So
Did I answer the question?
So so when you got to Westchester and so basically that whole first summer you just like stayed in the room just playing guitar, and I feel like that's like, you know, obviously, you know, like they always talk about this 10,000 hours thing to become like really good at something, and it's like, and that's what you always hear of somebody that becomes an incredible musician is like they just put the fucking time in. You know, and just sit there and play. And that's what it sounds like that summer. And even before that, I mean, you had your mind made up that you were going that direction anyway, I feel like, because you're making album covers for bands that don't even exist yet, but you're like driving in that direction.
Yeah, it was obsession.
Yeah. And
hardcore obsession.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what it takes, though.
It does take that. And the funny thing is that people that have done it, you know, bands like Kiss and Metallica, you know, members of those bands always say, you have to work so hard on it to develop it and perfect it. But the thing is if you see it as work, then it's probably not for you.
Right.
I was spending all my time doing it, but I never noticed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I never
You're not
noticed.
like, oh, I have 9,300 hours in. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like I was counting the minutes like, oh, soon I'll be good at this. The time flew, you know. Whenever I picked up a guitar, the time just flew by. It's kind of like video games with kids now. Start playing the video game when they get home from school, and then they look outside and it's dark out.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, oh, I thought I just played like for 15 minutes. Unfortunately, playing video games doesn't really lead to any kind of career unless you're going to be a streamer.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, dude, I worked on a show. These kids are like 18 years old and they're millionaires from playing video
I know.
games. I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's only so many spots open for that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know that's, I mean, I don't have an interest in that.
But neither do
Yeah,
I. But, you know, what's the longevity of that career? You know.
No, they say
they make quick money. And
they say at 22, you're past your prime. That's what they were saying on the show that I was working on. 22, your reaction time starts going down, and then all this stuff happens, and it's like.
Well, it's also a thing where you're probably playing a game that's just in style right now.
Right, and it's gonna
Eventually,
shift.
you know. But I don't know. I think it'd be fun to be a YouTube, phenomenon. But most people don't realize that you have to. If you're gonna go for something that makes a quick buck like that, you can't let it get to your head. You got to say, okay, this is gonna last X amount of time, not a long time.
Yeah.
So whatever money I make from this, I'm just gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Those kids go crazy and they end up broke in the end anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the same old with that stuff. But so you're playing all these hours. Then when you get into the new school, like what was that like when you got into East? Like, did you meet other musicians or connect with people? Like, was there people that you connected with, like Aaron or?
Well, the thing is, like, the first day of school, and I'll never forget this. The only thing I'm going to forget about this is the names of the two people that did it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll never forget that at business as usual, it was lunchtime. I went in, didn't know anyone, found a table, sat by myself, and these two people, one of them I think is John and his sister. You might know him. He's a tall guy, kind of husky, probably I think he was a firefighter, volunteer fireman.
Yeah, I don't know.
John something, and his sister, she was pretty cute. They came over to me and they said, "Come sit with us." And I just thought that was the most bizarre contrast.
Yeah, because you're used
behavior.
to people just giving you shit.
Because it was like, "Don't sit with me."
Yeah, right.
It was like, "You're not sitting with me."
Right.
And then it became, "What are you doing? Come sit with us." I'm so and so, and I was like, "What? What the hell is going on?" It was seriously like I didn't understand it. I thought they were making fun of me.
Yeah, because you're used to that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I met Aaron Ashcraft really fast, and Jay, and then Scott Pepple and Ted, and anybody that had metal shirts on. This guy Jeff, and anybody with long hair, I assumed was into what I was into.
Yeah.
And then Jay.
Yeah, and then Jay, my brother, who was like this preppy dude with a button-down shirt, but hanging out with all the metalheads.
Blasting Death's Human.
Yeah.
But and then I just got really close with all of them guys really quick. And me and Ted used to play. We were going to start a band. I think we did for a couple minutes. Me and Aaron Ashcraft, we were trying to join that band Threshing Sledge.
Yeah.
That Ted was in, and we went and rehearsed with them for a while. That Christian metal punk band. And then in business math, I had to take a freshman course, business math, and Dave Williams was in my class, and he used to get us out of it. I became friends with him because he sat right next to me, but he became the drummer in This End Up. He would get us out of class by asking the teacher if we could go run the school store.
Oh, nice.
So he'd be like, "We're gonna go run the school store." He had this really funny, friendly voice. "Me and Darren we want to go run the school store. We don't want to do this." He's like, "All right, go ahead." So we would run the school store for that period. And through Maggie, who was another girl that I had a crush on, she introduced me to John Teague, who was a senior or a junior. Senior. Yeah, Dave Williams and John Teague were seniors, and I was a sophomore. And they played, John played bass, Dave played drums. So we started rehearsing, and I still have all the rehearsal tapes. We got a boombox in the room. We were in Dave's attic. And it's amazing to hear how it started and how bad we were to like what it became at the end. Like,
Yeah.
when This End Up was done, when you compare like
Full circle.
Yeah, but that was Full Circle was of course a terrible song.
It didn't feel like it then though.
It didn't feel like it then. No.
Like well, I remember seeing that and feeling the crowd being all into it, and like when you play that, it was just like yeah, and everyone was like psyched on it. So
yeah,
looking back, it might feel like that, but at the time, it was like hell yeah, this is the shit.
Right.
You know.
And that's some way that like it's bizarre because we got so good so fast, and we were not good at all. You would not listen to these rehearsal tapes and think this band is going to do something. But we played high school projects, like not projects, but
Battle of the
events.
Bands. Yeah.
Like the senior fair, which I watched the other day for the first time since we did it.
Nice.
It's hilarious. There's a girl that walks by with her hands on her ears, like it's cheerleader chicks.
Like, oh my God.
But I got so much respect that day from playing the senior fair from like jocks and stuff because they saw how everybody reacted to it.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, you really know how to do that. And I started to gain a lot of confidence for the first time.
Nice.
So then came the Battle of the Bands, which was probably one of the best times of my life because we were up against 10 other bands, and I didn't even have the confidence to think that we would even get into it, but we ended up winning.
Yeah.
And it was on local access TV. What was that television station? WCOJ or something like that?
Uh-huh.
It was on there, and they played it over and over and over and over and over. And we were supposed to get a prize of $500, but they didn't want to give it to us. They just wanted people to think there was a prize.
What?
Which is in the, is in the case of most sweepstakes.
Yeah,
most contests.
Yeah.
There's never a prize. They just want you to enter. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they're just fooling you?
Well, later on, when we were with Island Records, they're like, why don't we do somebody had the idea, why don't we do a thing where CKY gives away a free guitar? And he's like, well, where are we going to get the guitar? And he said, there's not going to be a guitar. And then I started to understand, like, okay, like all these sweepstakes that you hear about, like Mountain Dew's free trip to Hawaii, look under the can, look under the tab.
Right.
Nobody, have you ever...
So one time I won like a free cruise, and then when I called, they were like, "Oh wow, you got to pay for the flight, and then this, and then this."
Right.
And I was like, well, "That's like $3,000 by the end of it. I didn't win anything."
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, definitely.
But so just for anybody out there, I would think usually sweepstakes and contests, there are no prize winners. I'm even pretty suspicious about the lottery, even.
How much are they actually? Yeah.
Who actually wins? What do you have to go through if you do have a winning ticket?
Well, most people that do win and their life goes to hell after that. If you've ever seen that documentary.
I haven't seen the documentary. I'm sure there is a lottery documentary, but I always thought that nobody really won the lottery, but I think people really do win the lottery, of course. But if the Rice Krispies trip to nobody wins those.
Yeah. So there's this this thing. You're supposed to win $500 for winning the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, and Mr. Shaw, who was the what at East? I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
He was a math teacher.
Yeah,
I think.
something. Yeah.
He was running it, and he said, "This ended up wins $500, first place in East Battle of the Bands, $500 prize." And then we let a week go by. And then we saw Mr. Shaw, and we're like, "Mr. Shaw, hi." He's like, "Hey." Mr. Shaw, we were supposed to win $500 from the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you never got that?" No, this will buy you some time.
Yeah.
No, we never got it. You can pretend you didn't know.
Yeah.
Now go find it.
Yeah.
It took about 2 months of constant badgering. It got to the point where I was like, "Shaw, you were supposed to give us $500. Like, you made money from that. And this is like a school thing.
I know.
It's supposed to teach you, like, business.
Yeah.
It was a business that we did.
Right.
We won a contest. We
Right.
played at the event. They sold tickets. We won. We're supposed to get $500. They didn't want to give it to us.
Right.
I guess that they were teaching us something. How
Yeah.
to get fucked over.
They're teaching you what the real music business is
Yeah.
like.
They were teaching us about get ready to be fucked over a lot in life. But eventually we did get the check, and with that check, we made our first demo tape
Oh, nice.
in Downingtown.
Oh, that's awesome. So that was your first demo tape with This End Up. But before that, you had recorded a bunch of stuff with Aches and Pains.
Yeah, on a boombox.
On a
Me and Dave
boombox.
Mosca would make up songs on the spot. And if you think that is a bad thing, like coming up with stuff, there's in acting, there's what is it called? When you come up-
Improv, yeah.
Improvisation.
Yeah.
I can't come up with words anymore.
Words.
You can improv. I seriously am
Yeah,
at
yeah.
a loss of the right word many, many times, and it takes a long time. I have to pause a lot. But improvisation and acting,
Yeah.
you can improv music, not jamming, like coming up with like real songs
Yeah.
that repeat parts. And me and Dave Mosca, Dave would, be the singer, and I would be the singer sometimes, but we would just come up with the funniest stuff. And it was pretty much just making fun of glam metal. Like, we wanted to have a cheesy logo and a cheesy band name, so we came up with Aches and Pains.
Yeah,
And spelled it phonetically, like AYKSNPAYNZ. And they have the logo and everything.
It's so good.
And every time I would go to visit New Jersey,
You record a new album.
yeah, over the weekend we would record a new record.
Yeah.
And some of the songs were so good that it wasn't embarrassing playing them in front of other people.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if the catalog got out today, I'd be pretty embarrassed. And so would Dave. But we have put some songs out there without putting our names.
Yeah.
This was back when MySpace was the Facebook. We put an Aches and Pains MySpace up, and without mentioning my name or his name, we would visit it to see if anybody played it. And at one point, it had 2,000 plays.
Damn.
This little snippet of 2 songs.
That's
And
awesome.
it's like, this is on the bucket list, a real professionally done Aches and Pains album. And there are enough good ideas on those 12 tapes,
Yeah.
those 12 records that we did, to do 10 good Aches and Pains songs.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
And a lot of the Aches and Pains songs, the riffs ended up in CKY songs.
Well, that's what I was gonna say because I
Plastic
remember
Planet.
you talking about that. Yeah.
Plastic Plan was an Aches and Pains riff. That was Aches and Pains, and
That's hilarious. That's basically like sort of like a joke thing that you guys were just sitting around messing around ends up becoming part of
yeah.
the CKY stuff too.
Yeah, because when you're improvising and you're trying to come up with a song on the spot, if you have it and you know what you're doing, you'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Something will get done. So there was a song called "Scratch and Sniff Me" that's on "Waking Up the Neighbors," the last album that we did,
Yeah.
that has the riff from "The Human Drive-In Hi-Fi." That's on Volume 1.
Oh wow.
So yeah, a lot of that jokey, funny stuff became real material.
Damn, that's cool. Okay, so I've kind of heard a bit of the evolution of it, but it was like after, like during This End Up, you'd go back and you'd record some Aches and Pains stuff, but then after This Ends Up, what happened? Like, where did you go, like musically then? Like, because then it shifted and like that band kind of ended, or?
Well, the first time I ever got like clinically depressed was when the guys were graduating high school, John and Dave, and they wanted to go to college. And I was like, but we're like on our 3rd demo and they keep getting better. And I had insinuated myself into relationships in the industry. Labels in New York City were finding out about me just because I was so obnoxious.
Yeah.
I would call and write and send in stuff to the point where it was more annoying than any other.
They're like, we
band.
can't ignore this guy.
Right. A lot
Yeah.
of bands would just take their rejection and go on. I would say, but why?
Yeah. How about this one? How about this one?
Right. But this ended up, we fired the singer because although he was pretty cool to watch on stage, could not sing. So I tried to sing, and we re-recorded some of the first demo with me singing, but then I kind of realized that I couldn't sing. So I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, kept singing and singing and singing until I was good enough to at least do it.
Yeah.
You know, whether people liked it or not, I don't know. But then we did 2 other tapes, and those guys, you know, wanted to not do it anymore. And they didn't announce it. They just kind of, you know, when you want to do something and you're all excited about it and the other people just aren't as into it as you are.
Yeah.
And you can't tell other than the body language, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm totally excited. Oh, tomorrow?
Right.
I don't know if I can do it tomorrow. And I was just feeling that really bad. And I'm like, God, I'm going to have no band. So, which brings me to the freshman class that I was taking my junior year. Pre-algebra 1A. Mr. Soditis. Soda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, soda it is.
Just
yeah.
pulled that right out.
Yeah.
Miss Soditis' class. Mal Mitchell was in there, Jess was in there, and me, the old kid with the long hair.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Soditis was so unaware of her class, she would just sit up there and just say, I love 8s. I just love 8. And one day we watched her draw an 8 like this. For like, it felt like 20 minutes. It was probably like 45 seconds. But she told us that she loved 8s and started drawing one. Over and over.
Yeah.
Infinity symbol. And I'm just thinking, why am I in here? What is this doing for me?
Yeah.
If my parents knew that my teacher said, I love drawing 8. It's like, I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's like, what a waste of time. So me and Jess would make fun of her like so badly. Like, I used to actually call out to her, like, you suck so bad, and she would just ignore it.
Yeah.
And everybody was doing it. Mal Mitchell was doing it. I only remember him because, you know, Mal Mitchell.
Yeah.
And Jess. And me and Jess would draw pictures of her and show her, and she wouldn't, I don't know. We would just yell out stuff, and she wouldn't even pay attention to it. She was apparently really fucked up in the head. So Jess was like, I play drums. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure you do. He's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, well, you know, my band's falling apart. I might as well try a death metal thing.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what I was into. But he had no death metal background. So what we came up with was a death metal band that had a drummer that played rock beats. And that became
cool.
Foreign Objects.
Yeah.
And the first time we rehearsed, it did not go well. I was like, my amp was still at John Teague's house because they didn't know that I was trying to start another band, even though they wouldn't have cared because they wanted to leave the band.
Right.
I brought this little Gorilla amp, like small as hell, and turned it all the way up, and it sounded like crap. And Jess and I sat there trying to put together like just the first part of the song, Undiscovered Numbers and Colors.
Yeah.
That we must have worked on that for 4 months. Just that part. In
that musty basement.
In that musty basement with
Yeah.
spiders and like poisonous spiders and
Yeah.
stuff and
Just stuff.
just stuff is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
What is the basement like? It has a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah. It's musty and there's stuff.
It's musty, and I remember there were certain parts that were scary to go,
Yeah.
and I remember it would flood, but there was a stage
Yeah.
that we played on.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like playing on a raft sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the water would never reach the equipment, thank God.
Yeah.
But, you know, we went through various, and, you know, I learned a lot about people starting Foreign Objects, we had a guy that was almost twice our age wanting to join the band. And the day before our first show at the Henderson Battle of the Bands, he said, I want $50. I was like, huh? His name was Matt Rissmiller.
Yeah.
Which is funny. 'Cause my brother's name is Matt, and my last name is Miller. Matt Miller. This guy was Matt Rissmiller, which I think Rissmiller is a really strange last name. And then we had this guy, Drew, from Delaware, which we cannot remember his last name, but he was... he had a lot of personal problems that you could probably imagine what they are, you know.
Yeah.
Daughter, 18 years old, in and out of prison, you know. And Matt Rissmiller called me the day before our first Henderson Battle of the Bands, and he said, I want $50 every show. If we make $1,000, give me 50. If we make no money, give me 50. And I said, I wish I recorded the conversation, because it was one of the first times I ever stood up to somebody and said, you have to be out of your fucking mind to throw this on me the day before.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck you. You're ridiculous. And I never talked to him again. Drew was a really good bass player, but he had too many personal problems. And one day he came to Jess's basement when no one was home, and thankfully only took his stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
He took his amp and his bass and left. But he was
Could have easily
taken anything he wanted.
Yeah.
Because nobody was home and nobody knew about it.
And all you needed to do was hit that screwdriver to the left.
Yeah, everybody knew how to open
yeah.
up that makeshift gate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, he took his stuff, and that was the last we heard of him. To this day. Like,
Yeah.
He's never popped up on social media. He's never been, I'm the Drew. My last name is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was in Foreign Objects.
Yeah.
He's never popped up.
No, he's probably in jail.
Probably in jail or dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you have those kinds of problems so young, I mean, either you get a totally, your life is totally made over into something new, or you just escalate until you die.
Right.
I guess. So maybe he's dead.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it was Zinski. I think it was Drew Pridzinski, but it could be Pridzinski. I don't know what, but we eventually called him Take My Stuff and Leave Ski.
Yeah. So that was the end. So then Foreign Objects was pretty much you and Jess, and then whoever would kind of fill in. But you pretty much, you played bass and all that stuff on the albums, right? Or
Yes.
yeah.
There's actually the beginning of the song Far Cry Behind. I don't know if your listeners give a shit about any of this, but the beginning of that song is me for 10 seconds. Just me. I play the drums in the beginning until the acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
and then it kicks in, and then it's Jess. But me and Jess did it, and you know, we had rehearsed so much that it became so important to us.
Yeah.
That when we saved up enough money to go in and record, it was like one of the greatest things ever. And there were obstacles, you know, certainly not, you know, April and Phil were completely supportive of us.
Right.
You know, we playing at like 4 a.m.
Oh, I know.
Like that.
Yeah.
And their neighbors, it was like, I don't even know if there were ever conversations between the neighbors, like, could you maybe get them to play earlier? Like, I just imagine April saying, no, I don't think I can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, nope, that's what they're doing.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what they're doing, and I can't help you there. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I mean, aside from the shit factory across the street,
Yeah.
gets so bad during the summer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I can still
hot,
smell it.
humid shit.
Yeah, right across the street. I remember I used to joke as like, I'm gonna go take a shit on your toilet, and I'm gonna race my shit over to the plant, see if I can beat it there. That place was disgusting.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
It was so gross. Jess used to call the police.
Oh, because it smelled so bad.
Yeah.
Call the police.
They would call the police. Because it wasn't supposed to stink that much.
Yeah.
You know, that house on Valley Drive, was it Valley Drive?
Concord?
Concord.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
South Concord.
South Concord.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. those shit processing plants aren't supposed to smell that bad. They are supposed to stink.
That was fucking
But
gross.
you could seriously like throw a dead body behind there, and nobody would have ever found it.
Yeah, and especially
Because-
those railroad tracks back there. It's
it's like you just
Stand By Me.
expect it to smell so bad.
Yeah.
That it was a perfect place to hide a body. And maybe that's why it smelled. I don't know.
Throw them right in the shit plant thing that Dunn jumped into.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Didn't he get really sick from that?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. But okay, so you're playing with Foreign Objects, and then is that where like then you kind of changed it into oil, or did you or do you started the whole nother thing was oil?
Well, what happened was, I started a relationship because I wrote a letter to Metal Maniacs, which was a big metal magazine that was in every magazine shop, every bookstore. It was a big magazine, and I wrote a letter into them, and they printed it. And basically, it was me ranting about how all my favorite bands were getting dropped from the label.
Yeah.
Which were Pestilence, Atrocity, Gorguts, Annihilator, Malevolent Creation. The Roadrunner just decided in 1993, the end of 1993, Immolation, Cynic, all these bands are done. We're not doing them anymore. Which meant back then, before the internet, when a label dropped a band, it meant this band doesn't sell. So the chances of that band getting another deal with the reputation of not being marketable were slim. So it pretty much was like getting dropped from a record company back then was pretty much you're done.
Yeah.
So when all my favorite bands that were active got dropped because they were making money, they just weren't raking it in, you know.
Right.
I wrote this nasty letter saying I'm dropping all these great bands and replacing them with shitty bands. And that started my relationship with Monty Connor. He was the vice president who was the vice president of A&R at Roadrunner. And he wrote me this 6-page handwritten letter explaining each circumstance of each band. When Malevolent Creation, their singer was an alcoholic and blah, blah, blah. And Immolation, we tried to get them to do a new record, but they refused. They're not doing one. They're not working on one. Pestilence changed their sound too much. You know, he gave all this stuff. And I wrote back, and it went back and forth for a long time until we realized that we were being cordial.
Yeah.
Eventually. Like, I became interested in what he was saying, and then he was interested in what I was saying, and then we went back and forth, and we still do that to this day on email and Facebook. He'll say something, and I'll say, "Are you kidding me? This is what happened, blah, 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 blah." We still do that.
Yeah.
So I got a relationship with him. I sent him, I didn't have any new material because this end up was broken up, and he already said Foreign Objects was really cool, but it just wasn't in style. It wasn't going to sell anything.
Yeah.
And he was right. I mean, you know. So now that I had this connection in the music industry, like this straight connection, it wasn't like there was a middleman or anything. It was like me to him.
Yeah.
You know, we rushed this commercial, updated modern metal that was in at the time, like bands like Pantera and Machine Head and Prong, bands like that. We tried to sound like that. Now, when I try to do something that I don't like musically, it does not turn out right.
I mean, it's impossible to do that. I think
Right.
even with anything you're doing, it's like if you're not into it.
Yeah, people that direct movies that don't like the movie genre they're doing, I don't know why they do it. Because they end up making all these continuity mistakes, especially if it's a sequel. If I did a Halloween sequel, I would make sure that every single thing that ever happened was still, you know, if he had been stabbed in the shoulder and 3 parts ago, there'd be a scar there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shush! Hush! But that's besides the point.
No, but but it's true though. Like if you're not into it, like you can tell. Like someone listening to it can tell, like your heart's not in it.
Right.
With music, so you
I mean, they could really tell.
Yeah, like you felt like that was an experience where you're like, I'm trying to do this because somebody else says I'm supposed to do this.
Well, at the time, back then, before the internet, and I have to say that every time to remind everybody because it's really hard to remember life without the internet. But before the internet, when you had a direct connection with somebody at a record label, everyone knew about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Monty Connor flat out told me, this is what you have to do to get signed. You have to make up music that you might not like, but that's fashionable at the time. Basically, he was saying, do your best within your talents to mold what you do into what sells.
Right.
Well, I was so, pretty much obsessed with early 90s death metal, the technical stuff.
Yeah.
That when I tried to do something simple, I was sick, I had the flu, I tried to sing on it. It just turned out so bad. And we planned a trip to New York because April wanted us to go to Berklee Music College.
Yeah.
Which we did, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, yeah.
For a week.
Yeah, I remember.
April thought that when you graduated a music school, you were signed by a record company.
Okay.
She didn't understand.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, it was just the parental, I think you're supposed to do this.
She
right?
wanted Jess to go to college. She didn't
Yeah.
want him playing in the basement with me.
Right.
Who was not going to school. I was going to school. I was going to community college just to stay on my dad's health insurance.
Right.
And me and Scott Pepple would play Bust a Move while the classes were going on. So as long as I was in school, I was health insured.
Yeah.
So we made this crappy tape known as the Lifeline demo, and some kids like it. I don't know why, but it sounds terrible. And I'll never forget, on the way to Berkeley, we stopped at the New York City office at Roadrunner, and I played it for him, and he shut it off.
Jesus.
First he turned it down, and I was like, turn it up so you can hear it. He's like, no, they don't let us play music loud in here. And it was
You're full of shit.
I was like, okay. I thought that we had something.
Yeah.
But he flat out said, you can't sing. And you can't do everything in a band. It's just the two of you.
Right.
This is not a band. You're trying to sing. You're trying to do everything. Why would I want to work with this? And he was so straight up with it that it was like devastating. But it also made me think, you're telling me I can't fucking sing and I never will be able to?
So it motivated you in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
You could see where it went. So I guess the key to everything is just you don't give up, no matter who tells you suck. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you are doing something and you're not good at it, you know. But if you think that you're onto something and you can improve on it, then why give up on it?
Right.
Because most people do give up, and that leaves room for the people that persevere and succeed.
Right, and I feel like, but like you said, you gotta love it, because if you love it, then even if someone's telling you you're not good and you feel like you have it a little bit, like if you love it, you'll just keep going after it.
Right.
But if you
without
don't,
even noticing.
But imagine if you're just trying to play some other genre that you're not into, then you're not gonna work as hard as you did towards the direction of the music that it kept creating, because you love that, and even if you're not great at it, you're like, I'm going to keep working at this.
Right.
But if it's like, play some hokey pop song, you're like, fuck that.
Right.
Well, you wouldn't ever.
But plus, I didn't know how
pursue
to.
it.
I mean, I hadn't perfected my style of songwriting yet. I didn't know the kind of music I listened to was not verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It was just verse, bridge, verse, bridge, weird bridge, another riff, and then some of the stuff I like, none of the parts ever repeated.
Right.
So I had trouble with songwriting when I was writing alternative rock, and that resulted in the Gold tape and the name the band Oil, and we played a lot, and we made 300 of those Gold tapes, and they all sold.
No, I remember thinking back to just the flyers and stuff for
Yeah,
the band.
we used to plaster them everywhere.
Playing in Philly at all those clubs and bars.
Doc Watson's, upstairs at Nick's.
Yeah.
The Pontiac Grill,
Yep.
Rex's, all those places. We were passionate about playing, and promoting ourselves, but I didn't like our music. I don't know if anyone else did or not, but I didn't like what we were doing. And I just kept remember I was badgering people to tell me, do you think this is good enough? Do you think I'm singing good enough? And Rich Vose was like, who had been in This End Up and wasn't in a band anymore. He was like, shut up. It is what it is. It's fine. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is good or not because I didn't like what I was doing. So, it did suck. It was generic and it was stupid and it didn't sound pop at all. Yeah. And it didn't get any reaction really. But we did a lot of playing,
So what led, because like, I guess what I mean, I've known you forever, obviously through my brother and then through, all of the similar friends, but like, and I've known that you're a huge horror movie fan, like the biggest that I know.
Yeah.
And
probably.
Like, I mean, the collection that you have is insane, and just the wealth of knowledge of all of those movies, like you could literally like recite them from start to finish on all of these. And I guess what I'm wondering is what led you to kind of make the connection of like the love you have for those movies and kind of mold that into your music. Like, because, I mean, if you think about, like, I would think that CKY is sort of, Can't Kill Yourself. It's the theme of horror genre, and it's like this horror rock sort of thing. I don't know if you can ever name it as a genre or whatever, but you feel that, and I feel like in the songs and the lyrics and things like that, it's like these little mini movies that happen.
Well, I was trying to write like short stories.
Yeah. And so that's what I feel like what led to that, because like Oil or Foreign Objects wasn't that way, but then it were you finding that throughout that, and then it became like, okay, this is the moment where I realized like that's my writing style?
There was a moment.
Yeah.
There was a moment. It was when I had, Monty at Roadrunner rejected the Oil tape, calling it, alternative rock isn't even selling anymore. And it was just not even... And then I got rejected from another label named Cherry Lane Music. They rejected it, and I said, why? And they said, there's just nothing of interest. And I knew that there was nothing of interest because I wasn't interested in it.
Right.
I mean, and it showed. So what I said, there was a point where I actually said out loud, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take what I like about rock music and what I like about horror and subject matter that I know about, and I'm gonna mesh the two together. And I had to say, what do I like visually? What do I like audibly? And I said, I don't care. I have to do what I want to do, because if I don't, then I'm just gonna be trying to chase trends, and I'm not gonna get anywhere.
Right.
So I said, what do I like about rock music? Well, I like Kiss. I like riffs. I like, from the death metal thing, I took single note riffs, which most death metal is single note riffs usually. And I slowed them down. And I went out and I bought this guitar pedal. I had a few guitar pedals, but there was this one, Brown Octave OC2, OC1. Went out and bought it for $80 at Westchester Music, and it made, when I stepped on it, it made the single notes that I was hitting like double in sound. Making it sound like you're strumming the whole guitar.
Yeah, but you're just...
Right, but I was hitting one string and one note, and it made it sound so big and fat that I was like, I'm going to use this on everything that I use.
Yeah.
Like everything that I write. And that's what happened. Like, I thought maybe I was doing something that people were going to think was, pathetic and annoying. Like, eventually it was going to be like, I'll turn that thing off. But it sounded good with all the songs that we started to write, And it caught on. Like, it sounded good. When we demoed stuff, it's made the demo sound fatter. When we played live, it made the band sound, because I think it was just 3 people. So to have the octave pedal on made it sound like there was two guitar players in a way. So eventually people became, that's their sound, that sound, whatever it is.
And this was under Can't Kill Yourself, or this was...
This was after I decided, okay, I have to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
I have to find out what I really want to do. And I have to... I didn't consciously say I have to develop my own style, but I said, left to my own devices, if I had to come up with my own shit without any worrying about getting signed or what would it sound like? And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that songs like Knee Deep and Rio Bravo and Promiscuous Daughter and Disengaged Simulator and 96 Bitter Beings, those songs all came out of that attitude of what would I do if everybody was going to love whatever I did? Yeah. And that was my attitude. Like, let's pretend that if I do this, everybody's going to love it. What would it sound like? And that's how I truly found that style, which it's not entirely original. Nobody's entirely original. Everybody borrows a little bit.
Yeah.
You borrow the best of, you borrow the best elements of all your interests, of all your influences. So it just became something unique. And then, the CKY thing happened.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking about when you were saying, because this always interests me, like when you were saying like, okay, one note, one string, and you got this pedal that made it sound fatter. Like you always played with 4 strings. Mm-hmm. You would like lose those 2, and I don't know if that was just like a period of time that that you were like, I like it this way and this is the way I want to play it, or if you've been 6 and then you went to 4 and then you went back to 6 or whatever. But I always wondered what was like the inspiration for going, hey, I'm going to lose these 2 strings and go right in this. Like,
well, for any guitar players out there are 3 wounded gauge strings, the low ones that are really heavy and thick in their,
Yeah.
And then there's the 3 that are kind of like piano wire.
Right.
Like that have a really sound to them. That's for lead guitar playing, like shredding.
Right. Yeah.
Those strings are for that. I am not a good lead guitar player. To this day, if I'm going to do a solo on something, I have to write it out part by part.
Yeah.
And then it takes me a long time to get it down on tape. So I figured if I'm not going to be playing these strings that are annoying when you accidentally hit them, I don't use them in my riffs.
Right.
I don't use them in the songs. Why have them? Getting rid of the 2 bottom strings made it easier to play, to get around the guitar, the neck of the guitar. I didn't have to worry about accidentally hitting those little 2 strings. Plus, the worst string on the guitar is the G string. It's the 4th string. It's the first one that's not wound usually. And it's so annoying if it's not wound. There are wound G strings. This is so boring for anybody that has no idea.
No, but it's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. G strings are like, they can either be not the things that girls wear. G strings, the G string on a guitar is a bing kind of string, but you can get a wound version of it that sounds like ring. Yeah. It's more clear.
Right.
So I wanted to get rid of that unwound G, and I found it was very hard. It's very hard to find them, but they do make wound G strings that sound so much better because even when an unwound G string is in tune, it still sounds out of tune. So when you play a riff like 96 Bitter Beings, like the that's on the G string, and the that's the G string. If it's not wound, it sounds like this. Yeah. If you have a wound one, it sounds like what it sounds like on the recording. Right. It sounds as fat as the wound strings.
See, well, dude, well, that's fascinating to me. Like,
only you.
Yeah. But like, I love music. I'm not a musician, but I love music so much. So I love to just like listen to the mind of a musician and how you clearly have spent so much time listening to the different sounds and you're so immersed in that it like that you think that through and then figure that out, and that's fascinating to me, because I mean, I like making movies, I like doing camera stuff, and I'm a nerd for cameras, like, and I love to just kind of fart around and see what's going on with that, and like that I get addicted and obsessed with that. But to hear it from you, like with guitars, it's just like,
well,
that's
as
cool.
as you just heard, it took me a very long time to tell that story, and the problem is because I'm not a gearhead.
Yeah.
I rehearsed last night and had a problem because I didn't have a wound G.
Oh yeah.
And we were in tune, but every time we played something with a G on it, my guitar sounded bad to me.
Yeah.
So I have to take care of that problem. I have to go out and buy some wound G strings.
Yeah.
But do I remember what amp I used? No.
Yeah, right.
Do I remember the name? Do I know the wattage? Do I know the features?
But you know the
Absolutely.
sound, and you know what that was.
I know the sound.
Yeah.
I never went to the lengths of how do you fix this, or how do you make this? How do you make the
Right.
guitar? How do you make the? Why is this fret buzzing? Oh, I know how to fix it. People that fix things. And I think that people that are really interested in fixing guitars probably can't really play them that well, in most cases.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different thing.
Well, it's like if you can't do it, teach, or whatever, like that kind of mindset.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, there are, there's use for that. There's use for that knowledge of repairing guitars, but there's a lot of people out there that shred like crazy, that know how to fix their guitar. They know what's wrong with it when something's not right. They know how to solder the wires inside. They take it apart, put it back together. In most cases, those people are limited in artistically and creatively what they can do with the guitar.
Yeah, like technically good, but creatively hard to write their own stuff. Well, so you mentioned rehearsing last night. Mm-hmm. So, and that's for 96 Bitter Beings. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because you have 2 albums coming out. And I want to try to hear more of that later this afternoon, pressure you into doing that. But
maybe we can make it interesting and play a track.
Yeah. No, yeah, that would be awesome.
We'll see.
Because but so you have Campaign, which is coming out, and that is like, explain that a little bit. That's for all the people that helped kind of make that happen.
Pretty much.
Okay. So like you wouldn't be able to get it if you like.
Well, yeah, after I was done with CKY, I did an acoustic record.
Yeah.
And I did a fundraiser for that because I didn't have a record company. So
right. So you did the crowdsourcing.
I did.
Yeah.
And they were very supportive. And I said, you know what? If you're gonna give me, the financial support that I'm gonna need to make this record, then I'm gonna acknowledge you, And people, I said, I'll put your name in the CD booklet.
Yeah.
And that really strung a chord with people. Like, they wanted to see their name in the thing. And I just kept doing that. We did another 20th anniversary of Foreign Objects eventually came along. And I said, I want to do a new Foreign Objects record. So we did the crowdfunding thing, raised all the money we needed, put everybody's name in, made limited edition CDs, put them out, and it sold really well. It still does well. It's streaming a lot, and it does pretty good. What happened was, though, in between the campaign of raising the money and sending out the CDs, the price of shipping doubled.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually had to eat a lot of, I had to put a lot of my own money into shipping, because the post office is in such bad shape. Well, they were anyway. They were in such bad shape that they kept raising their prices. So every time I charged a certain amount for shipping a CD, it went up doubled. It used to be $8 to send a CD to Europe. Now it's like $15, $16.50, something like that.
Dude, I know. Well, I did something stupid the other day. I went on Instagram and was like, hey, the first few people that say this will get a free DVD of Borrowed Happiness or Hot Dog Casserole, the things I made. Mm-hmm. And then they did it, and then everyone was from like England, and so I was like, "Oh shit!" So
Yeah.
then I had to pay like $15
Yeah.
each one to put it out, and then I like left. I was like $175 later. I'm like, "Fuck!"
It's ridiculous, man.
So I was like, I gave away these free things, and I just wanted to do that quick, and I'm like, because I didn't even think that it'll be people from over there. I was like, oh, it'll be local. I'll be like, oh, I'll give away 10 of them. It'll be like $30. Who cares? And then it was like, everyone was like from England, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
And you know what? That's happened to me as well. Like
Yeah.
I've offered, the first person that gives me this answer, I'm sending them something. But
Yeah.
I knew I would probably have to pay some money out for that because
Yeah.
you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But the post office is, I mean, it's happened to me almost every time. Like if I'm gonna do a vinyl, it takes 6 to 8 months to do
Yeah.
one title on vinyl.
Yeah.
So I do a pre-order. Okay. Right now to ship a record to Europe, it's about $12.50. So plus the vinyl, charge $20. So anyone overseas is gonna have to pay $32.50.
Right.
But I'll sign it, and I'll do, it's it's limited edition, it's colored, it's worth it. I put bonus tracks on there. It's worth it for the $32 for the people overseas. 8 months later, when the record finally arrives, it's now $23 to send it. A record
Yeah.
So,
Oops.
yeah, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so that was what made you feel like when you kind of did that crowdfunding thing, you were like, all right, I want to be able to recognize the people that helped along the way. And that's what the record campaign is.
Amazing support. And when I look at the names of the people like on Galactic Prey compared to acoustic record, there's new names. There's like,
Yeah.
it's different. And a lot of new people are coming on board. I'm not a social media freak. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have an Instagram.
Right.
I do have those things, but I just don't run them.
Right.
Never been on Instagram.
Yeah.
I still don't know to this day what it is.
It just
You
became
put a photo
yeah.
up, and
It just became like, it was like MySpace was the thing, then Facebook was the thing, then
Facebook I could get.
then
Facebook-
Twitter was the thing, and then now Instagram's the thing. Because I think what happened was on Facebook there would be too many like, Bobby broke up with me last night. I just didn't deserve it. And then all these people like, like they go,
I just didn't deserve it.
they like go on rants about all that nonsense. And I think then Twitter like shortened it so you couldn't like let all that crap out, and then Instagram shortened it even further to like it's just a photo, and then you can put like a link in your bio like, hey, if you want to buy this album, of the photo of that album, like go to this link, and it'll take you to that link. So it just shortened like, what's her name bitching about Bobby breaking up with her, like, so it just kind of, I feel like that's all that really
But that
happened
stuff
with
you
it.
can ignore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a Facebook if it wasn't so easy to use being in a band.
Right,
It's
right.
perfect for being in a band.
Yeah.
Because you can send people links and all kinds of stuff. It's limitless what you can do on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can answer questions. Remember we used to have Ask CKY, and it was like,
Yeah.
you submit a question. Now
Yeah.
people just ask you questions right on your Facebook, and you answer them.
Well, and I think what happened was they developed the other sites became more because people didn't want all of like that, but I hear what you're saying, like, because even when MySpace was in, like, dude, it was easy to make your own website. And then like you went to Facebook and it was like, oh, I can't really do what I did over there. That sucks. But for some reason, MySpace was no longer, but you're like, it was cool because you basically were just given a free website to then create whatever you want on there.
Right.
And then now
It still exists, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, people don't use it,
So
like,
there really is a MySpace.com still?
yeah, I think so. But I think it just is like the abandoned like amusement park, like
That's
where
interesting.
like if you
I think
go
now
back,
is a good time to start on MySpace.
yeah, perfect time to get on MySpace.
I mean, there's got to be people working there.
I mean, I guess so, because I remember at one point they were trying to like revamp it, but it just didn't like take. But yeah, I don't know. But then Facebook became the thing, and then now Instagram is where like what I find is that like that's where people will find stuff that I'm doing. I link it to like this podcast, or I link it to other things on there because it like that's where people are going right now. But
well, Facebook bothers me because they only allow you 5,000 friends.
right,
I don't understand why.
you know, because you have to change it to a public figure type of page. So that you can.
Well, we do have,
yeah.
we do have one for the band that has, you know, you can click and follow it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
have
your
to
personal,
sometimes like
they
pick
limit you.
people that
Yeah.
and unfriend them
Right.
just to get
Other ones. Yeah.
right. So I don't understand that.
So anyway, so Campaign is the album that you will basically be. It's kind of like a gift to everybody that's helped kind of make Synergy Restored happen, or is that
It's
like
not really a gift. It's really like I've been given the gift. You know, they sent, you know,
right? But I mean, for like the fans that help,
they're getting the
that.
physical.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that I talk to are still into physical formats for music, and a lot of people that are fans of ours are into physical formats.
Yeah.
They're discovering vinyl. They still buy CDs, you know, and the record companies still are selling a lot of vinyl and CDs to a whole new audience of people. The piracy isn't as bad as it used to be. You know,
Right.
there is an increase in music sales from vinyl and some CDs still, but CDs are phasing out. And I think it's just going to be vinyl and streaming, which is fine.
Right, yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Vinyl, streaming, occasional cassette just for nostalgia fun, but
Right.
so I said, you know, this is what we need to make these 2 albums. The problem is when I put out Galactic Prey, the Foreign Objects record, there was a label that wanted to put it out. But I said, okay, I'll put it out and then I'll license it to you. And they're like, well, that's not going to work because once it's out, everyone has it. So I realized that's true. Record company doesn't want a record that's already out. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let me sell my couple thousand and then I'll give it to you. I did that with Acoustified on Megaforce Record. Megaforce Records picked up my acoustic record.
Yeah.
And in order to, you know, make that worthy, that, you know, in order to make that worth the time, I put a whole new album's worth of material on there that people hadn't heard.
Oh, yeah.
So they were getting half of something they already had and half.
Nice.
But I mean, it's still, I don't know what the numbers are on that, but I mean, once a record comes out in any way, I could put all of our music up online right now and totally ruin it for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I came up with this idea that a lot of people thought that was, you know, original, and it could be part of the future of, you know, underground independent rock bands, is that you get your fans to help chip in to make 2 records, one that's just going to be for them and one that's going to be released to everybody.
Right.
So we went in, we started the campaign. Get it? The campaign.
Yeah.
Some kid just said the other day, I just finally got it.
Yeah.
Campaign is from the campaign that you did.
Yeah. I finally, quick one.
And I've been, there's times when everyone's absent-minded enough to not put something together.
Yeah,
It's really obvious. But that one, I think, is stretching it, but that's funny. So we did like 50 songs or something. We had all kinds of perks. We'll record your song. We'll record a song that you already know. We'll re-record a song that is ours.
Yeah.
Or we'll update Tunnel or something like that. Well, whatever. We had all these perks and got most of them done so far. Finished Campaign, finished Synergy. Synergy's waiting for a release from a real label. And Campaign is right now at the pressing plant. And
Nice.
me and my friend Matt Sweeney, we did the photography, the artwork. I designed the logo, and Travis Smith refined it, made it,
Yeah.
geometrically correct. And the attitude is I'm just gonna do what I like, and if you're doing what you like, it's because there's something about it, and that's why you like it. And if you like it, then there's gonna be other people that'll like it. That goes for anything.
No, I know. I mean, that's the exact, like, the same thought that I've had too, because, after doing the Jackass stuff and doing those things for a little bit, everyone's like, Rab, why don't you shit on things? And you're like, I'm kind of like interested in doing other things right now. And so that's what it's been like.
Really?
But that's what it's been like, like with doing the podcast thing. And then also like, I'm talking to a kid about trying to do some animation stuff, and then
Throw it up, you bitch.
Yeah.
Never laughed so hard in my life.
And then and then just doing other little things that you're interested in. And I think it's been nice in that way to get back to like, dude, I'm just doing this because I like it. Because I feel like when, obviously with what you were saying, like, even just along the path of your musical life, like I hear it in the point where when you actually just were like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I like, that's when things started to work. And then along the way, there are always going to be like, people they're trying to influence, and hey, this is how you could make more. This is what you could do. There's a legal Larry over there, like, well, you should do this, and and then there's always like that shit, and I feel like that hurts the creative process for whatever it is you're doing, whether it's music or filmmaking or whatever, and so getting back to that, I think, is the most important thing.
Well, that's what's so great about advice, is that you can choose to hear and take whatever you want.
Yeah.
There are people that are going to tell you all kinds of things.
Yeah.
There is a point where you lie to yourself and you say, I don't care what anybody thinks. And a lot of people say that, and they're lying, because if you don't care about if you don't like something, it's really puzzling to me, but I understand it. It's like people that hate me will spend more time trying to get in touch with me than somebody that loves me and just leaves me alone.
Right.
And that is not hate.
Right, yeah.
So everybody says, oh, the haters online. Someone who hates you and doesn't like what you're doing probably doesn't know about you.
That, or they'll actually just move on.
Yeah, you move on.
Yeah, like
I'm not on Puddle of Mud's website saying, God, she fucking hates me, such a terrible song. You guys suck, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't enter my mind. If somebody says, do you like that band Puddle of Mud? I'd say, no, I don't.
Right.
If the song is on, I'll turn it off. But there's got to be a reason why I would go and
you're not going to waste your time. Yeah, exactly.
Why would I do that? So it's like with the internet, the new thing is love is in two forms since the internet started, because you have direct access to the person you want to talk to.
Right.
And saying something positive is usually, what they're used to. Like if I wanted to get in touch with Madonna or something.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, you look so pretty in the Who's That Girl video, I'm more likely to get a response if I say, you're so ugly now,
right.
You've aged terribly, that gap in your teeth is so ridiculously stupid. I'm more likely, if she does care what people think, I'm going to get a response.
Right.
It took a long time for me to stop responding to people that were trying to piss me off.
Yeah. No, because I mean, for me, I've never done it, and I never responded.
Because people would tell me, "Why do you care what these people think?" And I'd be like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
But now, I stopped lying to myself, and I really understand that that's just a part of the internet.
Right.
It's just a part of
sorting it out, because there's a guy did that the other day. He was like, all this stuff, and then I guess I read it, but I didn't look. He goes, oh. You read it, but you didn't respond. Like, no wonder why only a certain amount of people like your shit. Like, blah, blah, and I was like, damn, and I wrote back. I was like, and I've never written back, I wrote back on.
So it did irk you
on the message. I never did it in the public forum, but I did it on the message. I wrote, I was like, damn, that was a really bipolar answer or whatever. And he was like, it got a response. And I was like, and then I never wrote back again after that because I was like, that was the only time I ever like got it. Like, not to say that it doesn't irk me. It totally irks me, but I stopped myself from writing.
Right.
Because like,
but
like,
that's where I was.
Yeah, like I'd have it on YouTube. So I make the hot dog thing, like, hot dog casserole, you were in it.
Yeah.
And like, it's just me trying to learn how to direct things, and it sucked. And I knew that. But
there are people that like it.
But I had fun.
Right.
And learned, and that was the purpose of it. And then there'll be people on there going, dude, stop doing this dumb shit.
Like it was the biggest
thing
and
it was like
career. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, should I just stop?
Well, I think we forget that when we do stuff, it isn't just our friends that hear it.
Well, that's what it used to be, and then after the wave of all of that time period,
every single thing that we did was put under a microscope by people we didn't know.
Right.
And we didn't know how to handle the negativity, and
it's hard. I mean, it's hard for anybody to just go, hey, someone's saying this, and I'm like, I don't even know who it is, but you have an opinion about that. Like, it makes you question, like, shit, I don't know, should I? I mean,
but the best place to be, mine, in your head is where I'm at now. Like, I finally can read something terribly untrue and horrible about me and not care.
Well, like, and just
it's really hard to get to that place.
Yeah.
And now that I realize that that's just part of the internet, like, you can't argue with these people. Because the more time you spend on them, the more they're going to say, I'm actually in an argument with, like, my favorite person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, you
it's
have
such
to
a
realize
weird
every
thing.
single, there isn't one person, Mother Teresa probably has people that say fuck you to her.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
There's just not one person that doesn't have haters. And it's really annoying to listen to podcasts and to streamers on YouTube and all these people that address their haters so much.
Yeah.
It's like, we all have them.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, and people used to say, why does it bother you? I don't know. The best place to be is where I am now, where I can be happy and confident about what I do.
Right.
And if people want to argue about how much I suck or whatever, let them do it. That's fine.
Exactly.
Just talk about me.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, and that's a good spot because it brings you back to that place where you go, you know what, I'm doing this for myself, but also like for your bandmates. And same way when I'm filming things now, I'm like, I just want to make my friends laugh. And you're like, I just want to make awesome music with my bandmates. And that creates this like positive, good thing. I think that then it's like, then you get awesome music. Cause I mean, I've heard, you put out, I think one song so far, and
one that we thought was the weakest.
Yeah. And it's awesome. So, I mean, but I had heard some little inklings of songs maybe a couple years ago or whatever. You had a couple things that you were messing around with, but you hadn't like fully developed them, and I was just like, damn, this is awesome. And it's that next level thing, and it's going to this like next part of the evolution of your music, and I then I heard that song and was like, damn, this is fucking awesome. And
we weren't even going to put that on either one of the albums. That's why
so it was like kind of a
well, because I listened to Monte Connor's opinion. Still.
Yeah.
I don't know why. This is something I need to figure out. Why do I care so much about that man's opinion?
No, you respect him on that level.
I respect him so much because he picked from the entire world all my favorite bands.
Yeah, right.
And it's funny because musically we have nothing in common taste-wise. But he found Gorguts in Canada. He found Malevolent Creation in Buffalo. He found Atrocity in Germany.
Yeah.
He found Pestilence in the Netherlands, and that's, I mean, he's, we're all getting up in age and he doesn't work at Roadrunner anymore, but, it was funny that we did eventually end up working with him, and we signed with Roadrunner, and we did Carver City, and everybody there hated us except for him. So the whole thing went to shit, and we broke up a million times, and The album did okay. I mean,
Yeah.
we toured a lot more places than ever with it, and it got released more places than ever. But it didn't come close to even the performance of the record before it. But that's when I started to realize this has gone as far as it can go. You know?
Yeah. But that's what
I don't care who you are. When you're working on something and you're doing it and you love it and it gets to a certain point and you're working with other people that are different from you and are sometimes difficult to tolerate, when you see the energy level decrease and the interest decrease, you can't help but feel like, okay, if our only option is to fall, I'm gonna pull the cord,
right.
and the parachute's gonna come up.
Well, and also
it's like-
just like finding that new direction. I feel like you hear that with like, I don't know, I like, as far as musically, like for me, like I'll think of Neil Young in terms of him going, I'm going that way. Like, oh, you think that I'm supposed to play with Crazy Horse? Well, then fuck that. I'm going over here. Like,
Right.
I feel like there's some level of that, like, is a healthy thing, is to kind of cut the cord, go in a new direction, so you can find that new energy in the music. Because, like, if it's getting stale and it's feeling that way, then yeah, you got to go that new direction.
Well,
And
I
regardless of
don't
whatever
think
the other
the
stuff.
music. I don't think the CKY sound got stale. I think
No,
that
not the
because of
sound.
being no, exactly. The sound is still
yeah,
legit.
Yeah.
But what I think,
No, the energy of what's creating it, whether it be people or the environment or whatever, like just shifting that.
it just became too difficult.
Right. I mean, we all know that, but I'm saying more like now you find a new environment, new people, new energy, and it's like a new birth,
Right.
and like a boost of energy to like feel like, okay, I'm going to continue the direction of music. Like I feel like what I'm saying is like with Neil Young seemed like he did that, where it's like, it's nothing against anybody or whatever. If there's differences, it's like, I mean, it's a marriage. Everyone's had their whole life of all that. Like we all understand that part of it, but
You get to climb the ladder again.
yeah, you just had to go that way.
That was the fun part.
Right.
Building the band up
Right.
to its peak was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because along the way you're imagining all these things that could happen. But
Right.
then when you're on your way down, those opportunities start to they're not there anymore.
Right, and it's almost
So, like, to
toxic
start
in your
over,
head to
yeah.
be like, oh, like I'm not gonna be there, and like, and you're always like nudging for that, and that's that I feel like kills it.
Right.
You know, but the rebirth of like, damn, I'm going in this direction, because I feel it with just having fun on the podcast and then going to film little like skits with some friends and do that stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, this is where it was, because it was like fun, like it was fun like this back in the day, and then it became
Work.
yeah, and then
Difficult.
that's not fun, you know. And regardless of whatever it helps you financially in those times, it was great. And I'm not trying to hate on those times, because they were great. And I was able to look at that and look back at it and feel that way at a time.
Well, that's a good thing, because
Yeah.
most people do not take the time to remember what they've done,
Yeah,
and they get addicted to what are they going to do next.
yeah.
And-
And some of that is healthy to be looking for, but not to like fully cancel out
Right.
what you've done.
A lot
you
of
know?
people do that. You know, every day I think about the things that we did and the things that we achieved.
Yeah.
And I don't forget them. Like,
Well, yeah, it's awesome. Like
it's
yeah.
cool. You
Yeah.
know, the past is, I mean, you want to forget bad things that happened in the past, but the past is like part of your life. It still exists and it's out there. And that's what's so great about music is that, and filming and art and stuff, is that it outlives you. It's the more you do, the more you leave behind after you're gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, for 96 Bitter Beings, I wanted to take something familiar, which is one of the most popular songs I ever wrote, and name the band that, and start climbing that ladder again.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
fun ladder of like, there was 20 people at the show. The next day there was 40.
Yeah.
You know, that growth, instead of saying there was 40 people tonight, and then there was 20 people the next day.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's better to
Yeah.
think this could go somewhere.
Yeah.
Other than saying this is has nowhere else to go.
And in some ways, when we were just talking about the past and the future, it's like you're looking towards the future with that, and in that you're just reminiscing in the past and staying stuck there.
Right.
You know, and so it's fun to kind of Yeah, just have that new.
To start over
Yeah.
and climb the ladder and have a good time and show some new people and some new fans what it's like and what it's like to be in a band in 2018. It's very, very different. But word of mouth is a great thing, and the fans that I talk to every day are just so cool. And I know that there's people that are waiting for their copy of Campaign so they can rip it to shreds,
Oh,
but that's the shit that in my head now, I no longer care about that. Like, I really don't.
Well, you can't, because it's like, whatever. You got to go.
There
where
are
you're
people,
going.
like, when you announce that you're going to do something, like Rab himself is going to do something, there are people that can't wait to see it so that they can hate it.
Oh, I know.
You're never, right.
Yeah.
You're never going to please those people.
Yeah, right.
They may love it,
Yeah.
actually. They may end up loving it, but they still have to let you know that they don't like it.
Well, I mean, think about, like, if Malevolent, when they came out with new albums, the first time you hear that new album, you're like, because it's different than the last. Like,
Right.
you got so immersed in what that was, and you're like, that's a part of you. And then now you have this new, like a different sound or a different take, or you're advancing, and I'm not there yet, so I don't like
Right.
it. And then
People say they don't like things before they
Right.
let it sink in.
and then it sinks in, and you go, "This is the best
Right.
thing." It's like, but I think it's just the fear of change. People don't like even their favorite artist changing.
Or
Yeah, like-
they want new stuff, but they want it to be the old stuff.
Right.
Somebody once
Yeah.
told me, this song is as good as 96 Bitter Beings, but the problem with this song is that it's not 96 Bitter Beings.
yeah,
And
whatever that
it's
means.
confusing, but it's true. It's like people are like, "Oh, Darren," they might say. Most people are going to get it immediately. They know what to expect. But there's going to be some people that are like, "This sounds different." Well, it's not different. It's new,
Right.
and you're comparing it to the old stuff, and you have to let it become a part
Yeah.
of.
It doesn't just you don't immediately get it. And that's the best part of it. Because if you think about like a movie that's really funny to you, it's like the stuff that you notice in the background the second time going through is what's even better. Like it's if you figured it all out right away, then it's boring and you're not going to watch it again.
Right.
But like, or you're not going to listen to it again if it's music. Like, so it's like you have like having to refine that, I think. And that's what's, fun about it.
But that's what's good about Campaign and Synergies. Campaign is more of a experimental album, whereas we said, is this too much, or is this not properly? Does this sound right? Like we said, we like it,
right.
leave it, and it shows how broad. It kind of reminds me of Volume 1 because every song was done in a different session. So there's a different drum sound for every song, but there's also kind of like a different style to every song.
Yeah.
So Campaign is for the diehard fans that recognize, Rio Bravo and Sarah's Mask, and To All of You don't sound like the same band. So there's a lot of songs there's an instrumental on there that's kind of fun and quirky, and then there's a really serious, kind of slow, mellow, My Bloody Valentine type stuff. Just shows it shows like it sounds good to us. We put the best 9 songs on there. Matty J and Murray did a song, and they sent me the tracks. Matty did the bass in Finland.
Nice.
Murray did the drums in Philly.
Yeah.
And then I did everything else in California. So it's like a reunion from all over the world.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's cool. So, and it's the first time Matty J wrote a song, and it reminded me of how I used to write when I came up with something that I was really proud of.
Yeah.
And I never really heard Matty J write songs, but he sent me this one and said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, it reminds me of old me."
Yeah.
Which I can't go back to.
Right.
So it's like a Shippensburg kind of song.
Yeah.
And that's a lot his style. So we did that and we put that on there, and that turned out good. And we did Beat It, Michael Jackson, a really cool cover of Beat It.
Oh,
A lot
wow.
of people have been requesting covers. I did All Night Long by Lionel Richie.
Dude, hell yeah.
You know, we're gonna do a Rush song. We're gonna do like just everything. Like, I want it to be more than a band. I want it to be like kind of like that band Goblin that does soundtracks, but they also do rock albums. Like, come to us for anything.
Yeah.
You want us to do a country song? Come to us.
Yeah.
You want us to score a movie? We can score a movie. Like, 96 Bitter Beings is a rock band, but it could also be music for whatever your needs are.
Yeah.
You need a little jingle to help sell your sandwich?
Yeah.
Come to us.
Yeah,
what
that's
we do.
awesome.
And I think that's what needs to happen, because I think rock bands and rock in general is just boring right now.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone except maybe Ghost or Foo Fighters that is everybody that's playing stadiums is in their 60s
Right. Yeah.
or
yeah.
70s. You know?
Yeah.
And there's just I don't know of any up and coming rock and roll like.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to take the new concept is just like the old concept. Take what I like, music, and make it an all-purpose kind of, not group, but like a company, like an organization that does music and video for whatever we want to do. We're not just we might put out like an album of love songs, and then have a song about hate at the end or something.
Yeah.
Just something that's interesting and like something that's within the realm of what we can do and what we like.
Yeah.
You know?
But not limiting yourself and just
Right.
being able to kind of,
I mean, I don't want to turn people off by doing a death metal song and then doing a ballad right after that.
Yeah.
You know, everything has to have like its place.
Yeah.
It has to be announced, okay, this is going to be... I mean, instead of having World Under Blood, I would have just called it 96 Bitter Beings. This is our death metal album.
Yeah.
You know, but it seems like, oh, you have to have a different band name for each style that you do. How many bands do I have?
Right.
That should have just all been called one thing.
Yeah. No, I know. And it's tough, I think, though, because like you said, people want to hear a specific sound for that band, then they want to hear a specific sound for that band. But dude, I'm excited, and I can't wait to hear more of this music. And so when we finish this up, I want to hear some more of that. But when do you think, like, do you know when it will be coming out, like the Synergy Restored, or?
I don't have a date because
You're waiting for...
I'm waiting for the record company to figure out their distribution stuff.
Okay.
So.
But it's done. I mean,
it's
pretty
done.
much.
The record is done.
Yeah.
We will have time. I think Campaign will hold people over.
Yeah.
For Synergy, but I mean, we did like 50 songs, including all the perk songs that people requested, and we got a lot of support.
Yeah.
The problem is that now it's not a problem, but I mean, once the CDs are done, the campaign was like 3 years ago. Of course, I have to ship CDs now to overseas.
Now they're triple the.
We got to sign that. We're signing them all. I'm shipping them all by myself. I'm addressing every envelope by hand, and the cost of shipping has gone up again. So
you.
It's not a money-making venture by any means, but it is going to get the word out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope that word of mouth. I don't want people. I want this record to be the property of the people that are getting it.
Right.
I really, really don't want anybody to share it with people that don't deserve it, you know.
Right.
I mean, listen to it, but I want the physical copies to
just
go
so that
to
it's
people
kind of
that
something
that
special
helped.
for them because they right, exactly.
And even if the album does leak, they still have the CD.
They have the physical copy.
They have the physical copy with their name in it.
Yeah.
So at least that. But I know there's going to be somebody that leaks it.
Oh, it'll leak.
I really don't want it to, and I think it would be really interesting because the Lionel Richie song went to one person.
Yeah.
And that person has been getting bugged by hundreds of kids. Let us hear Deron in 96 doing Lionel Richie's All Night Long. And he said, no, it's mine. And
nice.
True. That's true.
Awesome.
It's his song.
Yeah.
He wanted us to do it. We did it. I happen to love the song anyway. We did it. It sounds amazing. I sent it just to him.
Yeah, so it's just his.
It's just his.
Damn.
And people are...
That's awesome,
It's
though.
getting, you know, how it stirs
buzz,
up.
yeah,
it
yeah.
stirs up controversy. It stirs up, let us hear it. Well, no. And there could be, and then there are people,
Yeah.
that there is another guy who is the opposite. He's like, this is what I want you to do, but I want you to be able to sell it and give it to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like a really different, it's a new way for
Connecting with
connecting to fans, making new fans, having, you know, something interesting that everyone can talk about. Trading, you can trade songs. You know, oh, 96 gave me this song. I'll give you mine. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities because right now rock is so dead. It's so dead. And it's not that it doesn't have potential to pick back up because everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
That's so weird that we can't
Yeah.
say the same word at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
coming
May
back.
21st right there.
Yeah. Gemini, Taurus, Gemini, insanity. Is it May 20th or May 21st?
Yeah.
22nd? What the fuck am I? Which one am I reading this
Yeah,
on?
right. And I have 3 different.
And I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I feel that way. But you know, so that's that. I'm gonna be sending out like 1,000 CDs
That's awesome.
by hand.
Well, cool, dude. Well, thanks for sitting and chatting with me, and I definitely want to sit and listen to the music.
We will, don't worry.
Yeah, sweet.
As long as you don't have some plot to.
As long as I don't share it with everybody else.
Yeah, you have your phone on.
Yeah.
recording it
And then I'll give it to every fan that didn't help. Yeah.
Well, everybody helps. you
Yeah,
know?
no.
I don't want anyone out there to think that giving us money is the only way we see that
No,
you're
right,
helping.
right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. No.
Well, unfortunately, yes, making records and shipping records, it costs money. Where do we get it from? Well, we can have a record label, which we will have for future releases. But for this one,
Right.
we want to build up the base. And everybody's like, when are you coming to Michigan? When are you coming to Florida? When are you coming to Texas? Let us
Let it
set
happen,
up
yeah,
this
yeah.
base, this fan
Right.
base.
Right.
Before. I don't want to play empty clubs.
Right.
I will
Right.
if it's a new band. I don't want to play empty clubs in an old band.
Right.
So I'm excited
Yeah.
to go on tour because I don't care how many
It's
people
a brand
show
new
up.
thing, like you were saying, 20 this night, 40 the next night, and it starts to grow,
Right.
and that's that cool
And you know,
feeling.
that's the plan, that's the hope, you know, that this'll be a new thing that grows. But if not, it'll still be fun to go out on tour and play for everybody that wanted us to go there.
Right.
And you know, I have a bucket list.
Yeah.
42 years old.
Yeah. Well, no, and I feel like the good thing about it is, like, regardless of what it is, it's already serving its purpose because you guys are making awesome music and you're having a great time doing it.
And it's
that's
going to
it.
be around long after we're dead.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about art.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. All right. Well,
Alrighty. wrap this up.
thanks for taking a shit on the microphone with me on the Bathroom Break podcast. No, it's been good chatting. And like I said, you just always kind of learn more about people. Even just like hearing the stuff about Marlton, New Jersey, aches and pains and going through all that. It's just fun. Cool.
And the fact that we did that for how long? 2 hours and didn't take a bathroom break.
Yeah. I got to.
We're going to take a bathroom break on the bathroom break.
Awesome.
Peace out.
up wide. I will hold my own when mine and someone else's worlds collide.